Good morning. Today we are going to see about the topic email writing. Email. So what is email? It is an electronic mail. It is sent by the help of internet. Without internet we cannot send this message. Email as the technology revolves the old traditional way of communication that has let us evolve into modern day email writing. Sending and receiving email is an important part of communication as even popular in organizations, firms, etc. too. Example, to communicate with their employee, if they want to share an important message, emails are using in nowadays. So, here we will discuss how to write an email and tips to remember while writing email with examples. It is the most popular mode of communication since it is the cheapest and takes less time. For writing email, we have some formats that is in the email template we can see from, to, date, subject line and body of the content and at the end signature records everything that we can find it off. Email writing is an effective way of professional communication. Without email we cannot share anything with a persons. Nowadays it is very important for in all the fields. So what is meant by from us what the sender's mail address will be there in the from part, and then to, that is the mail address to whom we want to send the message. Make sure you are typing the exact email id of the receiver to whom you are sending. Always cross check before sending because even an unwanted full stop can land over email at the wrong address. Next, subject line. The subject line is the next most essential factor that should be considered because that is the first thing anyone receive the email would see. It is also determine the factor if the receiver would want to open the mail or not. Subject line must be very crispy. It is only the reader comes to know whether they want to read that mail or not. If you are not putting subject line, the receiver will ignore your message. Whether if the message is very important also, they won't consider because the subject line is the base for the emails. Whenever you are sending a sub message, you have to check the subject line must be very proper and it helps the readers to read your message. Next one is salutation. Whenever you are sending a message, first of all you have to give the salutation. See, greetings, that means good morning sir or madam, because we don't know whether the mail what we are sending is a gender, so we have to just say the neutrals also here. Next is body of the letter. Body of that email containers. The body of email states that the email is all about what is the main content you want to share the message, but very clear with what you want your receiver to know. So we have to say your content message in a short way. You should not give a detailed elaborate message. If you are giving like that, the reader won't read the message because within the first line or first few lines they will read whether this message is very important for us or not. So if you are giving unwanted details in the email, surely the receiver will ignore your mail. And make sure you jotted down everything you want to convey, draft in a simple term. You have to just know what are the main points we want to share with our receiver. It should be very simple, short and easy in the point of view of the reader. Then only the reader will give them time to read the message. Next is sign off. That means you have to give a salutations at the end with regards or faithfully. Likewise, you have to give the salutations. And if you want to attach something in that email, brochures or else resume, etc., you can attach it, and then you have to give warm regards. You should be good, hopeful for the receiver wants to respond to your mail. Likewise, you have to give a regarding words at the closing signatures. And then if everything you have to recheck it before sending the mail. There are three types of email. First one is semi-formal email. Second is formal email. And third one is informal email. So what is semi-formal? Let's talk about now semi-formal and email written for a colleague or a teammate within a project comes under this category. If, for example, if you are working in an IT company, you are sending an email regarding this project to your colleague, means that is a semi-formal. Here the language used in simple, friendly and casual way. What is the main content you want to discuss, that is the only thing you will write in this email to your colleague. Modest and dignity must be maintained. Whenever you are writing a mail to your friend also, you have to maintain and dignity. You should not use local words and shorted forms of the words. Whenever you are sending a mail, you should be very cautious. What is the content we are talking about? You should not talk unwanted details in this email. Next is formal email. So what is mean by formal? Formal is that thing what you are going to send to your higher officials. Suppose we are writing or composing an email for any type of business communication, it will come under the category of formal email. Formal email writing will be an email written to companies, government departments, school authorities, or any other officers. For example, if you are a lecturer or professor, if you want an opportunity to see the vacancy in any college, if you are sending an email, so it is on the formal part of the email. So we have to put from, to and subject line. So what is the subject line here? We have to give applying for the post of assistant professor regarding. Next we have to give the subject body of the letter, and at the end we have to give a closing line, and we have to attach our resume, and we have to send this email. That is the formal email. So next is informal email. So what is informal? An informal email is written to any relatives, families, or friends that are not particular rules. Here, there is no particular. For example, if you are writing a letter to your friend, so you should not no need to follow particular rules. We can just type here, hi dear, hello, how are you? Likewise, we can start it. You should be very no clear for which kind of mail we are sending. Then you can use a proper word. If you are writing a person, you are very close to you, means you can use hi dear, hello. Likewise, we can start the mail. A person can use any language of her own choice. There is no restrictions for the informal email. But in for semi-formal and formal, we have certain rules, and you have to follow the words very carefully. Whenever you are writing any email, you have to follow certain do's and don'ts. Now we are going to see about that do's and don'ts of an email writing. So what is the do's? Do's means what are the things you have to be very careful, and you have to do in your emails. That means do's. Don't means that you should not done in your work, you should not do. First of all, now we are going to see about do's. make points about information. So you must be very clear, these are the points I want to share with them, that are to do in your email. And then we have to verify the content. You are shut down of every important things. And then you can include paragraphs, flowcharts and other files as attachment in your email. And when you are attaching anything, you have to verify it whether you are placing the correct flow file or not. And then check the grammar and spelling. Whenever you are writing a mail, you have to check the grammar and spelling and sentence connections are correct. Once or twice or three times you have to check it, because it is the very fastest means. Spelling, if you are differently typed the spelling, the reader will get different meanings. So whenever you are sending a message, you have to be very careful in your spellings and grammar structures. And when you are saying the content, there will be a connection between the messages. You should not scatter the messages in a different way. And now we are going to say about don'ts. So what is mean don'ts? You should not do in your writing part of the email. We should be very clear in that also. You should not use colored fonts and different font styles for making eye-catching images. Your email must be very legible, clear, and the content must be very neat. You should not use colors and different types of fonts. And then you should not write the entire email letters in a capital letters, because it shows very ugliness in your email. Whether if you want to highlight a particular point, we can use capital letters. Otherwise you should not use capital letters unwantedly. And then make the mail as long as possible for a clear understanding of the content. Here what I'm going to say is, you should not say unlengthy content. You have to short down and give in a short way that must be very crispy to the reader what you are going to say. Likewise, you have to follow the certain rules and regulations while you are writing an email. Apart from this, there are so many do's and don'ts. Here we are only discussed about few main things only. And one more thing, you should not use emotions as smileys and other short words like you, yo. Instead of yo, you should not use you. Like you should not use abbreviated forms in your email. These are the don'ts. And what is mean by pros? Yeah, what are the advantages of emailers? Email, it is a cheapest form of communication. And next, email helps a contact or send information to a large group of people. It provides a written record of communication. Email is an understand form of communication. It can be used anytime, anywhere. When there are, it is the cheapest one. When we want to, there is no amount, how much time we are spending is the only thing. It is the only message way or communication we can share everything easily. What is the content we want to share must be the major thing in this email writing, and everything we can easily correct it. These are the pros, that means here advantages of email. If we can send it easily within a fraction of second if the receiver is in online. In olden days, if you want to send an email, they will take a paper, they are to write everything in hand, and they want to post it, put it in cover and post it in post office. It will take 1 week to get the receiver that message. But now it can be in a fraction of a second due to the technology advancements. Next, we are going to see about the cons, that means disadvantages of email. First of all, what is the disadvantage here is, we need to have the internet to receiver and the sender, both the person who are in communication, both sender and the receiver needs internet connection to read the email. And next thing, they have a proper email address. Next one is viruses are easily spread via email attachments. Yes, we can see there in our email box there is a spam, junk. Likewise, the options are there. If the mail it is not unwanted, everything will be go in this spam and junk mails. Some persons want to hack our IDs, like so they will send virus in the form of email. If unknowingly if we click that mail, all the virus will be spread in our system and it will destroy all the important messages and contents in our mails. Once a next point is one can get many junk emails. Junk emails that are unwanted. Next one is there is no guarantee if the reader reads the email or not. Yes, for example, if you are sending an email to your friend, any person, we cannot judge whether the receiver is in online and whether he read the message, whether he is interested, whether he is replied to the message, and anything cannot be guessed. So it is our part to send the mail. If the receiver is very interested to read it, they will read, or else they will ignore. So there is here no guarantee for reading the emails. And last one is the details can be used for identity theft. So when whatever the content we are sharing in this email can be easily taken for theft. So very confidential matter should not be discussed in email. Yeah, for example, if you are talking about your company profit in email writing with your friend means it can be easily theft by persons who are in the hacking. So you should not do like this. These are the cons, disadvantages of email writing. Yes, here I am showing you a formal email letter samples. For this mail is about the resignation of a job in a company. For example, from the address of myself, and next to that means to whom I want to send this mail. Here BCC and CCC. This is optional. That means CC means carbon copy and BCC means blind carbon copy. So here what is mean by carbon copy means if you are from you will say put our address. Next to we will put the particular person who we want to share. And carbon copy means if we want to share this same message with one another person means we have to add that person in carbon copy. And blind carbon copy means there is no that the mail IDs will not be shown in this place. All if you want click BCC, it will be sent to you all the person who are in your communication circle. The same message will be sent. And then subject line. So here I am giving the subject line as resignation letter regarding. And then dear sir. Here after that I want to give my full explanation regarding my email letters, why I'm resigning this from this job. Likewise I have to give. Next, at the end of this I have to give the closing statement that kindly look into my matter. Likewise we have to give. And then thanks and regards, and you have to put the science name of yourself. Next is informal sample. Here I am attaching for you. So here suppose you have write an email to your friend inviting him to her birthday party tomorrow. Here this is an informal letter that you are talking with your friend, that is from your mail ID to whom we want to share. And then subject line invitation to a birthday party. Here there is we are not using a particular format. We are using hi or hello dear. Likewise we can use it. And then we have to give the body of the letter and then give a closing statement. Likewise we can give in this. Next, here few samples for your email tips for your email writing. When you are writing an email, stay updated and avoid using old letter formats. You should not use outdated formats of the words, and there is no requirement for mentioning dates when practicing electronic modes of communication. In olden days, if you are writing a letter, we have to write place, date, everything in the letter format in handwritten. But now as we are sending through email, there is no dates required for that because it is sent in the same day itself. The reader can know where they are and when they are receiving the mails. And next one is when practicing electronic modes of formal emails can have indirect questions instead of direct ones. We have to formal emails can have indirect questions also. And next one, always hold your tone politely when, for example, if you are writing an email, your mail must be in a polite way. You should not order your receiver to send this or anything to you. You have to ask them in a polite way. And the next one is a formal complaint should be eloquent but without losing the nature of professionalism. If you are making any complaint letters to any higher officials who are in government, we have to raise your complaint in a humble way without losing any professionalism. That means you have to say the content, you have to use the words in a polite manner also. You should not shout, you should not use bad words like that in your emails. Whenever you are writing an email, you must be very clear in the grammar part, and you should use certain bullet points or break as a paragraph. Whenever you are writing a mail, you have to use passive voice. You should not use passive voice, you have to use active voice to make writing clear, more direct. Whenever you are writing a letter, you have to use a polite way of language. You should not use unwanted words. Before sending an email, you have to proofread it two or three times if there is any mistakes, if you want to carry, because if once we send the email, it cannot be retried back. Once if we click the send button, it will reach the receiver. It cannot be deleted or else. For example, if you are sending a message in WhatsApp, if you are wrong way, you can delete it with the delete option for all. But here in the email, there is not that kind of options are available. If we once click the button send, it will reach the receiver. So we have to be very careful and proofread it for many times, and then only we have to give the uh, send button. And if you want to give the attachments for that, you have to follow attach so more files, 10 so 15 files we can send at a time. Here I am going to give you 5 steps to write a perfect email. Step 1, define your topic. For that means you might only have one chance to connect with the recipient of the email. So it's vital that you make sure your internet and messages is clear. I know you want to share your company story, tell them about all the experts you have to your company, highlight all the great things you other customer have to say about you, and try to sell them something. Say all that for your website or your vlog. or 20 pages company brochure. Whether it goes, it most definitely does not belong in your email. That's why that they will never be able to cut thought and cutler of all the content unless you work it through it. So you have to give your company details and everything in a very short way. And next step two, think about the recipient and whom you are sending. So they are what they mood. Put yourself in the shoes of who is the receiver of the email. For example, if you are sending an email to your senior manager, means you have to think in the way yourself as the senior manager, and then you have to write an email. For if you are in the senior manager position, if you are ready to read a 500 words email, no, at the time we will just ignore that. So whenever you are writing it, you have to be very careful. You have to think yourself in that position and you have to write that email. And third one is make list. Step 3 is make list. Whenever possible, turn your text into numbered or bullet list. If you are thinking one point, just put an in point wise. Think about very carefully and read the emails. You don't do this. It's why you should try to incorporate list whenever possible. For example, if you are conduct a meeting, if you want to say this to your manager or anything, you have to note down the important points to you want to share with your higher officials. It will help you, this appointing will help you to check all the important matters are conveyed to your higher officials. If your list is all over the map, you need to define your topic to a little too loosely. Next, step 4, create your call to action. Every email, business related or personal, needs a clear call to action. That means it is difficult to identify, you will likely lose their interest. So ask yourself, what do you want to them to once you read the content. Register for the webinar, download the brochure, purchase a warranty, call me and set up everything, appointment. When whatever the call to action might be, it should be very clear, conscious and action oriented whenever possible. For example, if you are conducting a seminar in your college, you are sending so many sending this email to so many person, means you have to give an action word. If you have any queries, you can call me. Numbers you have to give likewise. Yeah, action things will be there. And last step is step 5, write your subject line. It is the basic and main thing on your email. After you have completed your team editing process, it's time to go back to the beginning. That means subject line. Whenever if you finish the mail, it is not a matter. Just you have to give importance to the subject line. Subject line only gives an importance whether the reader will read the letter mail or not. So you must give importance to that place mainly. Now we are going to discuss about the benefits of sending email. There are many forms of online communication to choose from, including email. First one is it is a cost effective. Here there is no need to spend any cost for this. It is a cost effective choice of communication. And next it is a simple. Once you have an email account and program for sending and receiving emails, it can be very simple to communicate with others. Many email programs offer pre-made responses you can use to save time when composing replies. Next one is it is flexible because email is a tool to use with the internet. You can often access it from any places. For example, if you are sending an email from Europe to a person who is in America, it will be reached in a fraction of second, and it is very flexible. This includes computers, laptop, tablets, and phones. Any place, any mode, we can open this mail and read everything. Last one, it is a Paperless communication. Nowadays, we are going eco-friendly. Paperless communication is the one of the main thing. Unlike other form communication, email is a paperless, a way to send information to others. This can help it to be cost effective and ecological friendly. 10 ನಿಮಿಷದ content. Here, now I'm giving you a task to write an email to the admission officer of your college. Students, I will give you a few 10 minutes to write an email. Just take it and just we will discuss about how to write an email for regarding email admission. Yes, take your time. Yes, are you ready now? Shall I say how to write an email of admission process to a particular college? Yes. Just you share your points. I will now say to you how to write your points. From your mail ID, that means you are applying to next admission officer dot ac college dot at college at gmail.com. Next subject line, requisition for information on the admission process for BTech AIDS. Next, body of the letter, respected sir, madam, I am writing to request information on the admission process of your college. I am interested in pursuing BTech ideas from your reputed institution. Currently, I am in class 12, but I aspire to join your institution after completing my 12th. Can you please provide me with information on the following? Admission process, second eligibility criteria for BTech ideas and fee structure for BTech courses, hostel facilities and charges including mess, room, sport charges, everything. Any information regarding this would be grateful, helpful for me. Looking forward their early action. Thanks a regard. With records your name. This is the format of the email writing you are right. Are you all now very clear with this? At last, one more time I will give you the tips which I missed earlier. Enter the correct email address. Keep it short and concise your content. Include only important relevant informations. Next, use the language and tone as per the requirement of the email. And next point, make sure the message to be sent in clear and understandable way. Next point, keep an interesting subject line. And at last, the main thing, proofread your emails before sending it. These are the main things you have to focus on while writing email. That's all. Today is the class. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you.